Welcome to another replay analysis, guys. Today we're looking at platinum level Protoss versus Terran. We're going to look at the Terran's perspective. And our boy here, Zex, was going, Vibe, how the F do you beat P in this damn matchup? I don't know. Let's figure it out. Let's help him out. How do you do it? How does it work? Let's find out. Your scout is way too early, by the way. Do not ever scout this fast. Do not scout that fast. Don't do that. It's really bad. That's really early. You're missing a lot of SCVs on your middle line. The only time I would ever recommend you scout this fast, I'm not even kidding, would be if your build was to do something all in. If you were like trying to set up some type of an all in any way, then I think this could be okay. But if you're just going to expand behind this, this is awful. Because you're literally tying up two SCVs and you're almost, we're like about to be 45 seconds into the game and you still have starting SCV count on the middle line right now. This is brutal for you. It's fucking rough. Yeah. Also, did you miss SCVs? Like, why do you actually still have 12 right now? You should have 13. I'm gonna go back and watch you. Are you following an SCV with an SCV right now? Like, what is happening right now? You are. Okay, that dude right there. It's that guy right there. Somehow you fucking right-clicked the fucking ground and you never fixed him. That sucks. That's even worse. That's really bad. Yeah, you're, that's going to cost you a lot. You're missing out on a lot of minerals here. You're scouting way too fast, and you're also having a worker just fucking sit there, do nothing. Oh man, that sucks. All right. So here's another problem, okay, with your scout. You're gonna get across the map. Here's the problem with the scout, okay? There's two reasons why I don't like this. Number one, you're not even gonna be able to tell that much about what Protoss is doing yet. Okay? Like, if the Protoss opens up, like, double gateway, sure. Then you could be like, oh, double gateway. But, I mean, you're building on your ramp anyways, so even if you did go double gateway, you don't really care, because you could block it with the depot, and you're good to go. You can't get in your base with, like, a depths or something. Now, if he's going to be more standard, and this guy is going to go for, like, gateway, into Nexus, into core, into tech, you'll never know unless that SCV sits across the map for like 90 seconds to like 2 minutes. Because you're going to get to this Protoss's ramp roughly around the time when the Protoss is going to have a gateway that should be like 80% to like 90% of the way done. Which means he then would have to build a core, and then he'd have to then build tech. So the only thing you would be able to even see here is if it was a double gateway, which it doesn't matter anyways because you're building on your ramp, so you could wall off regardless of either anything here. The only other thing I could show you besides like a double gate would be a cannon rush. But the thing about cannon rush that a lot of people don't realize that's so easy to understand is if a probe tries to build a pylon at your base before 1 minute in the game, it's cannon rush. Probably, like, chances are it's cannon rush. But if a Protoss tries to build a pylon in your base at like 1 minute and 34 seconds, it's not a cannon rush. Because even if it is a cannon rush at that point, you could kill it with Marines and you wouldn't even care. You'd be like, oh, starting a pylon, eh? I have a Marine over here already done. Good luck with the cannons. Or like my Marine's on its way, essentially. Like there wouldn't be a lot of time for a cannon rush to do anything. You could easily deny it. So this scout's way too early. It's like paranoia, I feel like. But it's like it doesn't So that probe got there really fast. This could be a cannon rush. You'd have to watch closely if this fucking dude builds a pylon. If he does build a pylon in your base or near your base, there's a very good chance that it's a real cannon rush. That's a really early probe. I don't even need to see his base to know that there is a high possibility of a fucking forge right now. It totally could exist. Because this right here, I just want you to know something. If a probe gets to your base around right about now, like 45, 55 seconds, anywhere in that, like the earlier, the more suspicious it is. But this probe is like, this guy built a pylon and it immediately went across the map. Like, you know how you built a depot? He built a pylon and immediately just beelined it across the map. And his next probe might have built a forge if he wanted to do that. Does it guarantee he's doing that? No, it does not. But it makes the probability of him doing that go up. It's like playing poker. The odds are higher now that this guy could be going forge first. Doesn't guarantee it, though. So you'd have to watch what his probe does. Now watch his movements. See how he's attacking your probe? Automatically, the chances of a forge a second ago was like 70%. And now that he's not trying to go to build a pylon in your base and set something up, instead he goes zap, zap on your fucking SCV. Odds of that being a forge now just now dropped from 70% down to like 20%. And then if another 10 seconds goes by and he's still trying to zap your SCV, 0% chance of forge. And that's before you would even see his base. So what's he going to do for a while here? What's his probe going to do? And we're now at a minute into the game. And this guy has not even tried to build a pylon. There is no forge. There is no forge. It's now 0%. And you could have concluded this as this hypothesis before you even got to his base. Because it just makes sense if you know how to read a timer. And you know how to read the game clock as to like what things should mean, essentially. So there's nothing suspicious about this at all now. It's just totally standard. It should be standard. Because here's the thing. If this guy does, every second that goes by, the later he waits to make a pylon, if he was genuinely going to cannon rush you, is a second closer to you having Marines. So it just makes it weaker and weaker and weaker every second that goes by. And he's clearly not trying to even do it. So... the next 10 for sure. All right, I'm gonna put myself on busy. This guy is he's an internet bully. I didn't ignore him. Hey, lesson to everyone out there, okay? That guy just talked shit to me because he lost a game of StarCraft 2, and I talked shit back, but I didn't ignore him. Okay? I just put myself on busy because I'm making a YouTube video and I don't want him to fucking flame my video, so he can't message me while I'm in the middle of a replay. But I didn't ignore him. Okay, don't be that guy that talks shit to someone and then insta ignores them before they even get a chance to respond. Nobody likes that guy. Okay. All right. So you got to his base, and you see what I mean? You're seeing nothing. You don't see anything. Now, if you would have scouted a little bit later, this guy could have been mining minerals for longer, and you could have done something like expanded. It looks like you want to expand. Your build is like a 1 racks expansion Reaper opener. That's what it looks like. So you're kind of fucking yourself. You're getting here way too early. So what you should do in the future, Zex, I told you what you shouldn't do, but here's what you should do. Scout after your barracks is done. Okay? The second your barracks is done, send your SCV that built it across the map. Go check him out. Come back home. Because at that point in time, you'd be getting to the Protoss's base around the time when his core would be almost done or finishing, like really close around that time frame. Like his core is probably going to be like 80%, 90%, whatever. And then you have a good chance to see how much Chrono Boost he has saved up. Did he go for a Nexus build? Did he double gas first? Is he going for tech first? Is he going to go for economy first? If he does go tech, what is it? You could see that shit all around then. That's all information you can see later on. And the only way you're going to get that information with this guy is if you literally sit here for another 50 seconds. Because your barracks still isn't even done yet. Like if you started scouting about now, that would be great. Okay. Now, priorities for you should be starting your command center, starting a orbital command, or actually orbital command should be first priority, by the way. You should start orbital first always, and then expand, and then make your unit out of your barracks. Okay, that's what your priority should be. Especially for like for instance, if you make a unit out of this building first, out of your barracks first, it only makes sense if you're going to kill something with it. Now, I know you are making this Marine. You're not even making a Reaper. You're making a Marine. So you're like, I'm just going to make a Marine vibe. That's what I'm doing. But think about it like this. You scouted 0 aggression out of this guy. Okay? You've scouted 0 aggression out of this player so far. So you're now investing into military that's going to delay your economy. For what? This Marine is going to stand here with his thumb in his bum doing nothing for probably the next 4 minutes. He's going to genuinely do nothing. And all it's going to do is delay your command center, which is going to then further delay your mules off your natural, and it's going to delay every SCV you have built off of your natural. 5, I'm just doing the B2GM opener. But this opener is done very poorly. Your economy is awful. You have way too much gas right now. You have no natural, and you're making this is not B2GM. Like, I know you're doing B2GM, but this is not. B2GM is about maxing your minerals and doing an economic opener. This is not economic at all. I'm telling you right now, like, this is a fucking problem. And like, if you want to take my advice, that's great. If you don't want to take my advice and you're like, what the fuck? It's fine. It's really not. This build has problems, which all of them, we've already said all of them already. Your lack of mining with that one SCV. Is it still sitting there, by the way? It's still sitting there. That's so fucking bad. And your early scout. Like, these things are fucking you so bad, dude. Your build is totally fucked up right now. Where's your command center? You gonna high ground it?
You want a piece of me, boy?
Okay. Mozdeth. Zex. I'm gonna lay it on hard with you. Okay? Now, I want you to know, you could have made a Marine, and you could have made a command center, and you could have made your orbital all about the same time. You could have done all of those things. If your opener wasn't so fucking inefficient. I want you to know that. You are already so far behind where you should be. You really, really are. Believe that. It's so fucking true. I want to give you a number, okay, Zex? You're starting your natural
Our SCVs are under attack.
at 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Okay? You should be starting your natural at like 135. Or maybe like 138. Your natural is so fucking late. It's ridiculously late. And that's going to fuck everything over. That's huge. It's the opener of the game. Like, this sets the pace for the rest of the game. If you have a weak opener, your whole game is going to be weak that follows it. You can't be like, well, my opener was awful, but now suddenly we're hitting the NOS in the mid game. It doesn't work like that. Like, you're setting the framework for your whole build right now, and it's already slow.
Command center upgrade complete. Our SCVs are under attack.
And you're scouting right now. I'm just gonna throw it out there, okay? I really want to talk to you about scouting for the next 25 minutes and make this a 4-hour replay analysis. But for the sake of time and for the sake of just making you feel frustrated, I don't want to make you feel frustrated. I'm not going to go deep into the scouting. I'm just going to say this. From now on, finish your racks, scout in, scout out, and then all you got to know is did he expand or not. That's it. Don't worry about anything else. Scout after you finish the racks and see if he expanded, and that's literally it. Don't worry about anything else. There is so much information you could have taken from this. Like, for instance, okay? it looked like the reason why I'm saying things like this to you is because it looked like right now, it looked like you wanted to set up a high ground command center. That's what it looked like. You're setting up your SCV's positioning to go high ground command center. And you're running around the base with your SCV over here a little bit. And then as soon as you see he expanded, you abandon the idea. You have enough to expand right now. You could expand right now. And instead, you delay your expansion by 9 fucking seconds to run from here to here. That is really, really bad. You have to, like... I'm not telling you that you should have built it here, but I'm telling you that if you were actually knew how to scout this guy, there is no reason why you would have saw this and went, I have to high ground expand. This 100% is natural before you even see it. This is going to be for a natural. And again, the way you could, how do you tell? You can tell by how much gas he's mined to how much gas you have mined. And you can also tell by the timing of his barracks to the or his gateway to the timing of your barracks. And you can also tell by the fact that he's still on 1 gas and you're still on 1. He's done the exact same build as you. Depot, racks, gas. Pylon, gate, gas. Every one of these buildings costs identical to each other. Pylon depot, same cost. Gateway barracks, same cost. Refinery assimilator, same cost. Probes and SCVs, same cost. And if this guy has nothing else in his build, and you have nothing else in your build, and you're going, well, I'm saving up for 400 minerals, so is he. And obviously confirming it is great. You should totally confirm it, because if you went to his natural and you had your natural done, like it was like 30% of the way done, and he didn't even have his started yet, then you could be like, what are you doing? Are you proxying at a gold base if it is one that exists? Or are you proxying a gateway somewhere? But in general, if somebody was going to do a proxy gateway, then here's another sign. This core would not have been delayed. He would have started it immediately after the gateway, and he would have saved chrono energy to chrono boost the core upgrade for fast warp gate to proxy aggression on you. Something like that. Like, there are lots of signs that tell you what someone is doing. It's the exact kind of shit I was telling you about the probe when it's in your base and what it means with time. So your scouting definitely needs some work, and it's not just you, by the way. Every single player in Platinum Scouting needs a lot of work. I'm just giving you some ideas to think about, okay? Just really, the biggest thing you should really keep in mind when you scout somebody is realize that if their build looks the same as yours, even though they're not the same race as you, there's a lot of similarities to all 3 races, cost-wise, because every race mines minerals at the exact same rate as each other, and they all mine gas at the exact same rate as each other. The only thing that changes it is mules. And because mules can mine over the top of SCVs, and drones and probes don't have that feature. But in general, for the opening of the build, like the first 2 minutes of the game, you guys are going to be almost identical against Zerg or against Protoss for the amount of money that you have. So you can totally read the opener out of your opponent if you just know how to read the investment of your opponent. So just learn costs of buildings for the first 2 minutes of the game. Learn what shit costs. And you can really dictate what their opener is going to look like, whether it's going to be really aggressive or it's going to be really economical. And that's why I told you all you got to really confirm here. Did he expand? If he did, you fucking already know he did. It's great. He's doing a 2-base build at least. So you have at least like 3 minutes before you really get attacked by anything like heavily. You can still get harassed, but you're not going to get like all in. Anyways, yeah, scout after racks and you're way better off. Okay. So, but yeah, your opening right now is fucked up for sure for you. You're already like pretty far behind. It's gonna make it everything now rough. You're also not making SCVs. How long was that? These are the things that are. So, a lot of people as well when they want to do replay analysis, they don't really think about the first 5 minutes of the game or the first 7 minutes of the game. They think about like. They're like, this is a 26-minute replay. What should I have done at minute 18? What should I have done at minute 18? That's what they think about shit like that. But in reality, minute 18 would not have looked the way it did if minute 1 through 5 was really fucking clean. And it's really easy to make it clean if your macro is on point. So, like right here, here's an example. This is why I'm referring to this. The second your orbital command is done, what are you doing? You're looking at your Marine right now. There's no reason to look at your Marine. It does not matter. Who gives a fuck? You should be making a reactor on your Rex right now. And you should be dropping a mule in 1 second and making an SCV in 1 second. So let's hit play. Now let's hit pause. And now how long do you wait to drop a mule and how long do you wait to make an SCV? This is the shit that kills you.
Command center upgrade complete. Our SCVs are under attack.
You waited 4 seconds to make an SCV. So this is something that I always say. It's really important to know this, but I say it every time because someone might not have heard this and it's really, really relevant to know this. If you're going to go up to 80 SCVs, okay? You're going to go up to 80 SCVs. Let's just say that's the number you're going for if you're doing B2GM. 80 is your magic number. This command, and let's say you're by the time you have 80 SCVs, you're going to be on 4 bases, okay? It does not mean 4 bases means that each command center is going to make 20 SCVs a piece because 20 times 4 is 80. That's not what it means. This command center is going to probably make like 45 of those SCVs by itself. Like 40 to 45. It's going to make a large chunk of all of your SCVs because it's the only command center that's been up the entire game. So it's pumping the entire time. So every SCV you're making now beyond the first 19, or really it's the first 18 because, or no, it's 19. It's 19. This is SCV 20. The first, so to SCV 20 and beyond, all the way to 80 now, is going to be delayed out of this command center. So the next, like, 25 to 30 SCVs that this command center is going to make, probably like 30 SCVs that this command center is going to make, or whatever. It's going to be a lot. I don't know the exact number, but it's a lot though. They're all going to be delayed. And that's if you don't fuck it up again. And you have this, and I imagine you're going to do it again and again and again throughout the game because this is the shit that holds people in platinum forever. You have to really be cautious about that. That's why B2GM was literally fixated on that only because it's so bad if you fuck it up. Now watch your command center right now. You're doing it again. I don't see a queued up SCV right as it's going to finish. So watch it again. Okay, you did. You're lucky. But where's your mule? You're 12 energy late on the mule. Your command center, the orbital finished at 2:05. Your mule is already 15 seconds late, and that mule is mandatory to have enough money to afford everything you're supposed to be doing. It would already have done like almost 2 turn-ins by now if you dropped it at 2:05. And then also when you drop it, make sure you drop it on a close patch, not a far one, because it gets better turn-ins. That is actually a thing you should do. Okay, you dropped the mule. You dropped the mule at 2:25. Rough. You dropped that thing 20 seconds late.
Our SCVs are under attack.
SCV ready.
Is this now going to be available to rewatch? Yeah, I'll post it to YouTube. It'll always get posted to YouTube. So if you have to go, no worries. It's all good. It'll be posted, and you can rewatch it later at your own convenience if you gotta go. Also, your wall here totally fucked up, Zex. When you build a wall like this next time, put your barracks like your barracks was right there, okay? And what you did is you lifted it and you moved it up. You moved it literally north 1 grid spot and then dropped the reactor. But what you should do, and now you have a gap there and you have a gap there. What you should do is just move it to the left by 2 because this reactor is a 2 by 2 grid spot. So move the barracks left 2, so it's like there, and then put an add-on on it right there where the barracks edge, the corner of the barracks just was. From now on, do that. This barracks is fucking awful. If this guy goes adepts, you're gonna hate your positioning here. That is so bad. Also, you don't need to be scouting again. This Marine is a total waste. You're sending poor Jim Raynor's cousin to go fucking suicide. You're like, hey, Jimbo Dean, get up there and scout Protoss. Why? Because I said so. But you already know he's fucking expanded. I don't give a shit. Confirm it. It's confirmed, sir. Should I shoot Pylon now? Yep. Kill it! It's like that dude in this Brood War cinematic. Kill it! And what happened to that guy? He fucking died. This guy's about to die too. He's asking for it. Ah, shit, bonus! Get him! And he's dead. Now, while you were doing that, how many SCVs did you miss? Let's watch that really fast. As that's important. Okay, so let's go back and look at your command center right now. 257. 258. It just ticked over. 258.
SCV ready.
To 303. 5 seconds. Again. Now watch it again when you're microing the Marine. For a second. I guarantee you're going to get distracted. Right now, you're attacking. And I will not be surprised if you don't make an SCV. Because you're going to look at that Marine, I bet. Watch your SCV. Watch your camera. You made an SCV. Good job. It was right before you got attacked. So, good shit. But people fuck that shit up all the time. You made an orbital. Good job. Here we go. Now your Marine's going to get attacked. Now do you make another SCV? You go up here. You look at your Marine. Watch your SCV. SCV finished at 327.
SCV ready.
337. You start a new one. 10 seconds again. And that scout gave you 0 new information. That'd be like your house is on fire, and then you get out of the house, but then you go back in the house and you're like, is it still on fire? It's still on fire. And then you get out of the house again and you're like, ah, nothing changed. Yeah, the natural's still there. That scout that distracted you was not worth it. And you are literally falling again further and further and further behind with your economy every single fucking minute that goes by in this game because you keep fucking up your macro. And again, it's just not just you. Don't feel bad. Everybody does this in Platinum. This is why players in Platinum are in Platinum.
Command center upgrade.
Natural's done at 340. What was it? 345. Just another example here. Watch. Back it up just a second. 345. Natural's done. Orbital's done. Main as well is making an SCV with the white box we see. Play.
Command center upgrade complete.
You started an SCV at the natural. Like 2 seconds later. Because it's like 1 second in, it looks like almost. But now watch the main. Do you continue making one in the main here? 349. Main's SCV's done.
SCV ready.
You only missed 1 second there. That was not that bad. If you miss 1 second, that's not ideal. You want it to be never missing a millisecond. But if you miss 1 second, that's not that huge of a deal. It's not great, but it's really not that noticeable. It's when you start missing like 4, 5, 8, 10 seconds at a time where it literally adds up so fucking hard so fast. Because an SCV's build time overall is 12 seconds. So you really need to stay on top of it constantly. And if you're not, you're going to miss seconds way faster than you realize. And all your SCVs are going to be delayed. Your economy is going to be delayed. And you're going to be like, why am I only at 40 supply when I should be at 68? Like, what's going on here? Also in the future, I mean, he has a natural, so it's fine. But your tank, you're not even making a tank, by the way. You're very delayed. I'm going to give you another example here, okay? Here's another example. I'm going to back it up just for a second. And this is what I'm talking about with, like, your gas. When you do this build, ideally what you're supposed to do is you make one Marine, you make a reactor, and then you make a factory. You're going to make your factory pretty soon after you have 100 gas.
Our SCVs are under attack.
If your build's going properly. You haven't even started a reactor until you're at almost 200 gas. You started a reactor when you were at 228 gas because you just started it just now, and you were at 228 if you add 50 to that. You should be starting that at like 50. And then you should be making your factory a little bit after you have 100 gas. And right now, post-reactor, and we're talking post-reactor on both of these. Post-reactor, though, you have 178. Your factory is effectively delayed by quite a bit already. And you don't make it right now either.
Our SCVs are under attack. Our
You start your
SCVs
factory
are under attack.
right now. You just started it. And you had 214 gas post-reactor. Your factory is genuinely about 45 seconds late. Roughly. Like it's really, really late. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because if your factory is that fucking delayed, the fact that you don't have a bunker makes me very scared for you, because you could easily die to anybody who wanted to harass you with a stalker. If this guy was like, I'm going to make 2 stalkers and go attack Terran and poke him, and I know how to micro, you would instantly be dead. You'd be like, oh, GG. You would literally die to 2 stalkers. I'm not even joking. You would just be fucking dead. The only way you don't die to this, if you skip bunker, is if your factory is faster and you get a faster siege tank. And you also open up with a widow mine first off of a tech lab. Your whole build is like fucked. Okay, so your biggest problem as a player right now is how slow everything is. You need to get shit going a lot faster than you do. For sure. Like, everything's fucked. Like, your wall's fucked. You don't even have a wall. You're putting depots down here because this wall's all fucking disorganized. You should at least put, like, a depot there and put a depot, like, there to fix it. Like, patch the holes. Leaving this open is really bad. You're not building SCVs enough. I think you still have an SCV on fucking stop in your mineral line. You do. It's never been touched. Really pay attention to your fucking idle worker button. Oy. It's rough. And you're going to go attack. This is not the time to attack. So this is random. There are rules to attacking your opponent in StarCraft. There are genuine rules. Okay? And one of those rules is it only makes sense to initiate the attack first. And okay, let me say this, because this is like unexplained territory for a lot of Platinum players. There are 2 kinds of attacking in StarCraft 2. There is a genuine attack, and there is harassment. Harassment is not this, by the way. Harassment is attacking somebody with the idea that you can retreat when you want to. So, a cloaked banshee, Hellions, a medevac drop. Because if you want to, you can turn around and get the fuck out of there and not lose everything. That's harassment. You attack by doing damage wherever you can, and you can always retreat out of there without losing your units, okay? That's harass. Now, a genuine attack, over no harass anymore, just a full-on attack, is sending your units across the map to do battle with no intention of retreat. Now, you can't... A Marine that is by itself, that does not have Stimpak, cannot run faster than a Stalker. So these units have 0 chance of retreat now if you run to his base with them. You will get run down as you retreat, and they will all die. This is not the time to attack. So now that we understand the difference between harass and attack, harass is you can retreat and you have better move speed or better mobility that goes off the map or something to get out of there and not die. Okay? This can't do that. It can't accomplish that because the Stalker is faster than a Marine. Now, it only makes sense to attack somebody like this if you have a military advantage, whether that be through tech or whether that be through numbers. You don't have either because you guys both expanded. You have done nothing to make this make sense. You didn't open up triple racks, fucking delayed natural to punish his natural. You didn't do anything like that. You opened up 1 Rack's command center, just like he opened up 1 Gate Nexus. This has 0% chance to work. Now, you're not going to lose the game automatically if you do or don't do this attack, but all you're going to do by doing this attack is it's going to die. It's going to do no damage, and then you're going to be behind further than you already are because you've already fucked up your economy, and now you're fucking up your military. You're just literally giving him units to kill. This is going to die. It's going to do nothing. We're going to see in a second. We'll come back to that. Are you making SCVs? Somewhat. You're making tanks now. You're not getting a stim pack upgrade. There we go. How long was that done for? Also, your second Rax was really fucking delayed. Again, everything you're doing is delayed as shit. That's just how it's going to go at this point.
Add-on complete.
Like, the fact that you have this massive gas bank shouldn't exist like that. Like, you should be actually spending your gas as you're getting it because you're like, your build's like, you want the build to be on point to the point to where you're utilizing your gas as you get it. And the minerals are the thing that's going up and down quite a bit because you're focusing on minerals heavily. What's happening with your build, though, is everything gas related is super delayed. So your gas is just pooling up and pooling up and pooling up. And you have a fuckload of gas in the bank that's not being utilized, which is a sign that your build is fucking off. Now, I'm not telling you to delay your gas. That's not the reason why you're fucked like this. You took the gas when you took the racks, which is correct. But that is a sign that tells you what is going wrong with my build. And it's everything we've already said. SCVs are missed all the time. Your mules are late. That SCV, the first one of your 12 is fucking sitting there doing nothing for 5 minutes. It's still sitting there. That's fucking rough. That is brutal. Now let's watch this attack fail.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Again, this makes no sense to do this.
SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready.
You see, this guy is being very timid. He doesn't need to be. This is also a lack of understanding from the Protoss. If this guy wanted to, he could fucking run you down and kill you right now. He could be like, I'm just going to kill those Marines. Like, why are you here right now?
SCV ready.
Okay, your third command center
SCV ready.
is started up. You're making more racks. I'm not a
SCV ready.
big fan of your yeah, it's okay. You're just, everything is super delayed. It's really all it is. It's just you're very far, you're like so far behind, it's insane right now. And okay, I'm really not a fan of this at the moment. You're setting up 5 racks before you've even set up your third, okay? And you can't afford it right now. You're not wealthy. One of the reasons why you're not wealthy, by the way, is you're not dropping mules. You have 4 fucking mules and idle doing nothing right now that could be dropped. You're not making SCVs again.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Let's actually count this one just because it's really long. Your SCV finishes at 627. 627 your SCV finishes. And only your main's not building one. Okay. You don't build another one though until... What about this one? Okay, 637. So you haven't built an SCV here for 10 seconds. This one just now started as well.
SCV ready.
You started SCVs at 639. So this command center missed 12 seconds of SCV build time, and this command center missed 2 seconds of build time. You just missed another 14 seconds of uptime of SCVs in total between the two bases. Because what you're doing is you're doing 80 times 12 is how many seconds it takes to make 80 SCVs. And you can divide that by how many command centers you have if you get more command centers, as long as you're doing it. So like, if you were making 80 SCVs off of one command center, it would be 80 times 12, and that's how many seconds it would take. If you do off of 2 command centers, it would be 80 times 12 divided by 2. If it's 3 command centers, it's 80 times 12 divided by 3. If it's 4 command centers, 80 times 12 divided by 4. Like, regardless, you're making 80 SCVs at 12 seconds a pop. But then the amount of command centers you have is how fast you can make them. So like right there, when you missed 2 fucking command centers for 2 seconds together, that literally counts for 4 seconds of total SCV build time because you could have been making 2 at the same time. So it doubles the time. And then it triples it when you're missing it on your third base, and so on and so on. And then you start just missing more and more. So it still punishes you later on in the game too, but you just got to really realize this as well. Everybody needs to realize this. Once you realize this as a StarCraft player, it makes you look at the game differently. And just because I say this doesn't mean you're going to realize it. You really have to believe this. Each second in the game of StarCraft 2 is more important than the next second. So what I mean by that is the first second of the game is more important than the second of the game. The second of the game is more important than the third second of the game. So if we had a graph that was time, or like just like time with importance over time, okay? It would be like at the top, and it would have this like downward fucking slope, because it's the first fucking second, and the first minute is more important than the second minute. The second minute is more important than the third minute, and so on and so on. Because your game, whether you like this or not, is ridiculously reliant on how well you set up your economy, and the percentage of the economy that you fuck up is more impactful the less workers you have. So if I have 10 workers and I fuck one of them up, that's 10% of my economy that is botched. That's a lot of that's 10% is a big number. But if I have 50 SCVs and I fuck up one SCV, that's 2% of my economy. Not nearly as noticeable as 10%. It's still going to be not great to do that, but you really want to not fuck your workers up at all, as much as possible early on, because the percentage of how much you fuck yourself, it shrinks a little bit over time. But regardless, if you fuck yourself over, it's still not good either way. You don't want to do it either way, but you really need to not do it early game. It's so bad if you do. It really ruins your whole game. You cannot have a good late game with a poor early game. It doesn't exist.
This better be good.
Make that an orbital as soon as you can. Good job. Gotta get those mule generated energies going up. Now, look at this command center. You're maxed out on energy. Now, you're missing mules to drop, which would have been nice if you dropped them on time. This is not easy, by the way. I'm not saying, oh, it's easy, just do it. Definitely practice it, though. I'm pointing out your flaws in your build that need to be fixed. I'm not telling you that they're easy to fix, but practice it. You need to. It's fucking important. But now, this is even worse, okay? This is the worst thing you could ever fucking do as Terran. So missing SCVs sucks ass. It's really bad. But the worst thing you can ever fucking do as Terran is let your command center's energy max out and not fucking utilize it. So from 722 and on, if you don't drop mules, you are effectively wasting what could be another mule. You're just it's deleted now. It's gone. You never get it back. There's no pooled up bank energy that will just go into effect later. It's just never going to generate now. So that's missed time. And if you waste time in this game, you die. So that's fucking brutal. You cannot let that happen. You need to maximize your mules a lot better than that. You need to be dropping it as you have the energy to drop each one. Ideally. Back is so itchy.
It's about to get heavy.
God.
SCV ready.
Yeah, brutal, man. You're still not dropping them. You're at by the way, that's been a minute. It's a full minute now that you haven't dropped the mule still.
Oh,
that's a minute.
Yeah.
Yo, thank you very much from Rumham for the 3-month array sub. I think you did.
Upgrade complete.
Okay, so your 4th command center also is extremely late. You want us to be starting your 4th command center as soon as your 3rd command center is basically done, you start your 4th command center. When that shit lifts off to go to your 3rd, 4th command center starts. Your 4th CC is nowhere to be seen right now. And it's almost 9 minutes. It's really late. It looks like you're just going to 3-base all in it at this point with how late it is.
Go, go, go. SCV ready.
And a problem that starts to develop as well for you as a player is once you get to a point like this where you're like, well, Vibe, I'm spending all my money. on upgrades and on depots and on units and keeping my buildings running. And I don't have another command center set up yet. Once you get to this point, you get stuck in this point because you have to like hiccup your build really heavily and just stop, like make everything flatline and go, "Brrr." Save your command center, build it, and then restart the fucking heartbeat of your build again. So you've totally, like, you're going to derail it now to fix it. The only way you can fix it is to fucking derail your build now. And again, it's because of all the economy development you've given yourself. It's weak. Your mules are fucked. Your SCVs have been fucked multiple ways. Your command center timings are fucked. And now it's going to make everything feel fucked for the rest of the game. Everything's going to just feel late. So it's off the rails now, regardless. Like, your train has been derailed, essentially.
Mineral field
So this whole game now is going to feel... This is the difference, okay? This is the difference. Platinum players. Yo, are you fucking platinum? Are you platinum? Listen to me right now, okay? StarCraft 2, this game we're watching right now, if this looks like your game, and you're going to play this out and then go, vibe, how the fuck do you beat Protoss? It's impossible. The race is overpowered. It's not possible. You can't do it. It's just not, it's not possible. The race is overpowered, needs to get nerfed. Microsoft, save us. If that's your mindset, you should change that, because here's what the mindset should be. This game of StarCraft 2 is about to start right now, okay? The game is literally starting now, not 9 minutes ago. It's about to start right now. And did you put the setting on extra hard difficulty, or did you put the setting on easy difficulty? And if you give yourself a shitty ass opener, it's gonna feel like it's extra hard, and you're gonna be like, holy fuck, you have to play like a god. I'm not Maru. How the fuck can I beat Protoss? This race is it's bullshit. It's so hard to beat. Yeah, it's gonna feel like it's really hard to beat if your opener sucks ass. If your opener is weak, the whole game feels like it's on extra hard mode. But if your opener sets you for a pace that right now, let's say your supply was at 180, okay? And you had a 4th base already done, and you had a 5th command center already on the way, which was it was almost done to float to your 5th base to make another PF. And then you're making another command center to float to another base for another PF, and you're literally controlling the map really a lot faster, and then you're going to push him when you max out. The game would be like, wow, this is way easier. Do you struggle with Protoss? I literally just kind of like stim pack a move and I win. Scratch my head. Why? I don't know. It's because your setup is so much better than someone else's. It makes or breaks the mid game for you, whether it feels extra hard or extra easy. So it's really important not to fuck that up. It's so massive. And this is what platinum players don't understand. They don't realize how bad their economy is and how hard they're making the game for themselves. And then they think to themselves, fuck it, my macro's fine. I got a micro better. No, fucking fix your macro. It makes it way easier. Do you think I'd go into a fight saying, I could have 10 units, but I want to have 3? No, I'll have 3. I'll just micro 3 really well. No, I want to have fucking 10 because I need 10 to micro properly anyways. That's not how it works. You can't go with... You can't fucking... It'd be like saying there's like a nail you need to hammer in, but instead of giving yourself a hammer, you're going to use your fucking fist and punch it in, and fuck it, you're going to make it work. Bad analogy, but you're not giving yourself the tools that you need is the point I'm trying to make here. Like, you have to set yourself up properly, or you're dead. You're just dead otherwise. So what I'm watching right now is you're really far behind. Okay, I'm just trying to stress that point because it's the biggest thing you need to work on. The rest of this game is kind of irrelevant. We can still talk about it, but everything we just said is more important than what I'm about to say, okay? The more important part of this whole cast is what I've already said now, and now we'll talk about your micro, but we're going to talk about your micro from a position which could have been better off. So now Protoss is here, okay? Now, first things first. You're fighting against Colossus, Stalker, Sentry, whatever. Now, if we were going to talk about scouting and composition and stuff like that, it would have been nice if you would have given yourself some Vikings and something else to deal with the Colossi, maybe some more Marauder. But we're not talking about composition. You're platinum. It's totally fine. So, what we do need to talk about is your army size and how this should go. Again, it would be nice if your army was bigger, but here's something you need to realize. Mass Marines suck ass against Colossus. Okay? They're really fucking bad. So this is genuinely what I would say you should probably, if I were you, this is how I would micro this. I would take my SCVs. I would A-move up here. I would take my bio. I would stim pack, stutter step, A-move up there. I would let my SCVs die so that I could kill this army with my Marines, which are, if they're not covered by SCVs, are going to just get annihilated by Colossus. I would also lower my depots and probably lift my command center. Because here's what's going to happen to you. If you don't lift your command center or lower your depots, you're going to create a choke point, which he can abuse with force fields if he wants to. If he does, your Marines are going to walk around against a wall while Colossus just light the shit out of them. It's going to be like the Tom Cruise movie, War of the Worlds, where everyone's running on the street, just disappearing. Fuck! Aliens! The person just disappears and clothes fly in the air. That's what your fucking game will look like. It'll look bad. You want to die today? Fucking lift that command center. You need room. Spread out. Okay? And then if your SCVs die, but you win the fight, you could just remake the SCVs, and if his army's dead, you could go counter push his base now without an army. That's what you could do. That's how it should go, okay? You should lift off your building, lower your buildings, make a lot of room for you to work with, A-move your SCVs, stutter step your bio behind it. If you don't do that, this could go very badly for you right now. So he's target firing the command center. Nice job trying to repair it. If you would have repaired it a little bit faster, that could have been really bad for Protoss. But ultimately it died. So now this is when now you don't have a third command center, or sorry, you don't have a fourth command center. So now you're remaking your third and you're starting a fourth. Now you're actually getting to a point where it's going to start getting really bad for you economically. Okay? It's going to start getting really bad economically for you. Not great. So what you need to do now, ideally, is try to not take such a bad fight against these Colossus. And what you need to do against that to make that not happen, to make it not a bad fight for you, is you need to be assertive. So don't just walk around in fucking Colossus range of attack. You're gonna just bleed out bio like crazy. If you want to attack the Colossus, attack the fucking Colossus and like go now. Stim, run in, kill that shit immediately. Be assertive. If you don't want to fight him, don't fucking fight him. But maybe what you should do is like run around him maybe and go attack a different base. If you want to play this game effectively, okay? Again, this is Platinum and this is B2GM, so I'll give you alternative options here. But I'm telling you right now, this position for you is gonna go to waste if you just sit here. You didn't set up a fort, like, cause think about it like this, okay? Here's the difference between B2GM. If this was me in B2G, if I was Terran here and I was like, oh, my command center just died, I would already have like 5 command centers right now. You were so fucking late on command centers. You have 2 at 10 minutes because you killed your third. I guarantee I would have right now 5 and he would have killed 1 and I would have 4 still up active. And I would just transfer my SCVs to one of my other 4 bases that are still alive. I would remake a base, remax out, and then go attack. That's how I would do B2GM if I were playing B2GM. But the position you've put yourself in is if you wait now on a shit economy, because you're only effectively mining 2 bases now, which really 1.5 because this base is already half gone. If you wait until you have a decent economy with these bases finishing and you don't even attack until 12 minutes, all that's going to happen is he's probably going to be attacking you again because you're going to wait so long that you're going to get stuck on defense forever because you are so far behind where you should be economically. So it would make more sense for you to attack right now in the current game that you're in because you have not prioritized the economy like you should have. Yo, Frenetics, thank you for the sub, dude. Okay, you're attacking. This is correct. It's not always correct, but it's correct this game because your economy was not your priority. Like, it definitely wasn't. Should have been a lot faster if it was. Hey, you're not attacking. You're sitting here. It's fine.
Upgrade.
Okay, you're going to... You're running it? Okay, good. Good shit. You should totally attack. And you should avoid the Colossus if you attack. And now that you know he's going Colossus, More Marauders is totally fucking great. I love that you're making a lot of Marauders. You're almost maxed out too. So yeah, totally, that's a good time to attack.
You want a piece of me, boy?
The only problem you're not doing here as well is you're not doing any of the medevac drop shit I told you to do. You have no scouting. You have no knowledge of any bases. You're like taking a fucking dart and you're just throwing it into the dark and you're like, that base. Now you can have an educated guess that is probably his third or that is probably his third. Probably makes sense because they're closest to the Protoss's base, but you're literally guessing. So you might be going somewhere that nothing is there right now. And you into a base that exists, so it worked out. But it was a total guess. Now here's a problem though. What if a base exists right here? And it would have been easier to kill, it's more exposed, and you should have gone there first. And what if all of a sudden, while you're attacking Colossus here, a bunch of fucking zealots get warped in over here and flank you in the ass? Like, it could happen, and it would suck. Yeah, you don't want to be fighting Colossi in a choke point where you're fighting them at max range. The way you beat Colossus is you can flank them, you can concave largely against them, where you want basically think about Colossus as like literally a fucking flamethrower. Okay, think about Colossus like this. Like, let's just say you're like a piece of paper or something, and like your army's like literally made of paper, and then the Colossi are like right here, and they have like a torch. Okay, it's like a torch, and then if you allow it to just straight up just fucking ram the center of your army, and it deletes that center of your army, well, now suddenly your army isn't what it was before. Now all of a sudden your army just lost a lot of shit really quickly, and then suddenly a second later he does another attack, and boom, right there you just lost another chunk of your army. It's just, it gets fucking deleted really fast. So you don't want to clump up and fight Colossus at max range and let them just go and just kill everything. The way you'd want to do it is ideally if the Colossus look like this, okay, and your army, we'll make it purple so it's easier to see. What you can do with your armies, you can go like this. Okay, Colossus are right there. How about I go like this? And then not only that, but how about I go like this as well? And then you can go like, you can have your army spread out massively around where the Colossus are, and then engage with more surface area. Spread yourself out and engage all over the place, because suddenly, if your army's way more spread out like this, you're not, like, well, Colossus is not going to hit 7 Marines every time it attacks and swipes out a shitload of bio. It's going to attack like 2 Marines, maybe 3, maybe 1. Maybe it attacks 1 Marauder, best case scenario. It's not going into like juicy clumps of Marines that continuously die over and over. You got to spread your shit out a little bit. That's one way you can deal with Colossus. Another way you can deal with Colossus is just straight up make some fucking Vikings or some Liberators. Siege your Liberators so he can't really walk into that, and he'll just get punished as well because you have your own siege unit that punishes units really hard on a single target. Or get some Vikings. Get like 12 Vikings. And they'll just like 2-shot kill a Colossus, 2-shot kill a Colossus, 2-shot kill a Colossus, land them on the Stalkers. Something like that's fine. You could do that too. Or just make more Marauders. Like the whole like spread out your army thing would make a lot of sense with a lot of Marauders. You have options, but the worst thing you can do against Colossus is clump up and just let them zap the fuck out of you. Like that. You're never going to have a good fight if you fight like that. And now you've lost your military lead, and you have not had an economic lead, I feel like, for your own sake, for like this whole game. Also, your command center's off. That command center is literally 1 hex to north, like 1 grid spot to north. You could have put it down by 1. So that's going to fuck you again if you never fix that. Also, is that SCV still there? No, you moved him. Good job. I just wanted to see if he was. I'd be like, oh my god, he's still there. Good job, though.
Mineral field depleted.
SCV ready.
Well, yeah, you're still on 3 bases by 12 minutes. Here's another checkpoint for you, okay? I call this the 2-minute rule. You should be on another base every time 2 minutes goes by. So at minute 0, you're on 1 base. At minute 2, you're on 2 bases. And then Terran's a little bit different. You're not going to really be on a 3rd base by 4 minutes. Other races kind of are like that. But let's just say at 6 minutes, and then every 2 minutes after that, you should be on another base. So 6 minutes, you should be on a 3rd base. Terran's the only one that doesn't work like this with 4 minutes where it should be 4. If you took a 4-minute 3rd as Terran, you'd probably fucking lose it. Let's be real. It's really hard to defend your 3rd if you don't even have stim pack. But if you have a 6-minute 3rd, 8-minute 4th, 10-minute 5th, 12-minute 6th, 14-minute 7th base. So what did I say there for 12 minutes? 12-minute 6th base. You should be on 6 fucking bases already. You should have literally half the map covered in bases already for yourself. Like that base, and that base. Or this base, and this base. But right now you're on 3 bases still. And why is this relevant? Why is this 2-minute rule thing good? Because if you don't do it, look at what you're having. 17 SCVs mining 6 available worth of patches. 16 already mining an oversaturated midline of 14. It's only going to go down even more. 20 on 6. Or 20 on 16, sorry. Everywhere you look, you're oversaturated. Inefficient as fuck. And it didn't need to be this way, and it's not because this guy attacked you. It's because your build uptime and your setup was weak. So it made it to where it wasn't ever going to be a possibility. Like, you're just behind. And you didn't even rotate that command. You made that a PF. Not a good idea. You're paranoid about Colossi and shit. But, like, if you just had more army and more shit and more power on the map, you wouldn't be as afraid of Protoss as you are. The reason why you're afraid of Protoss is because you're giving yourself weak tools to go into the mid game with, and you feel like Protoss is very strong, when in reality, Protoss actually, believe it or not, Protoss is actually scared of Terran in the early game. Especially if they go Robotech. Like, Terran is the one who keeps Protoss defensive early game when you have good macro, not the other way around. The only way you ever need to play defensive against Protoss, once you know how to macro really well, is if they're all in. Like, they're doing a 2-base charge lot all in or something like that. Then sure, obviously, play fucking defensive. But this guy's fucking macroing and he's keeping you defensive. It's the complete reverse of what it's supposed to look like. And it's because you're not confident in your macro. Like, I see why. We talked about it. It's again, we're going to keep referencing it because it's so fucking important. Like, Protoss doesn't actually gain map control until they have Storm, Colossi, Blink, fucking all their upgrades. That's when Protoss starts becoming, like, really strong. And they don't have that as fast as Terran gets Stim Pack and numbers. But the only reason why you don't have that is because you didn't have the macro to do it. Like, that kind of an attack right there, nice try. The idea is there, but that will never work unless that's mixed with something else. You did that by itself, which means this guy has nothing else to be distracted by. So he's very easily going to defend this because he has nothing else to do. He's, oh, I'm going to get attacked. Okay, defend. Everybody will do that. There's 0 chance this does any damage because it was a little tiny harass army that was not supported by anything else, and then it just got shit on by a bunch of Blink Stalkers. It's kind of expected that that was going to happen. But if you did that at the same time while you pushed over here with something else, suddenly that does a lot more damage.
Ready to blunder.
I like that you're making Vikings. You have the right idea. Your economy is fucking not good, though. Like, look at you. We'll take another glance. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Bad. And fine. It's starting up. So you're oversaturated here. Every other base you have is either undersaturated or on point. But you're oversaturated here. So your economy at the exact moment right now, your actual economy is actually okay. You have 3 SCVs that are doing nothing as well. You have 3 idle boys that could be doing more. But yeah, it's, again, 3 SCVs at this point is not as impactful as what... think about it like this, okay? What is 3 out of 78? Percentage-wise. Is that like 7%? Can someone do the math on that? What is 3 out of 78? I could do it on a calculator. It's almost 4%. Those 3 SCVs being idle right now is almost as bad as one of your first 12 SCVs being idle as well. Like, for like percentage of your economy. But at this point in the game, when you have a lot more money to work with, it's not as impactful overall because you just got a lot more money to throw around and shit. Whereas in the early game, you are fucking broke and you're like, need every little penny you can get because you need everything. Like, you have nothing to work with yet. You're like upstarting. But yeah, it's like you're literally missing out right now on on 3.8. What is 3.8 times 3? It's 11.4. Yeah, you're missing out on 11.4% of your economy right now. Of your active economy. It's doing nothing. Just because they're sitting there fucking with their hands in their ass. Just literally idle. And this, you know, shit like that, you want to make sure you fix that. And then all those SCVs that were oversaturated. You did fix it just now, which is good.
Mineral field depleted.
But now you oversaturated another mineral line. Like, you're never keeping your mineral line running perfectly. Because you're expanding too slow. But you did just finish this base, so you should have transferred up there. But you get the point. You just want to, like, make sure everything is fucking efficient. You don't want to have inefficient mineral lines and shit. It really sucks. Like, really hard.
Upgrade complete.
You could totally just A-move this. If you just concaved a large concave and just A-moved it, you could totally A-move this and be fine. You would just need to make sure you have enough production to rebuild. And you definitely don't have that. You have 6 racks, and you have 2 starports, and you have 1 factory. You have a shit rebuild potential here. You definitely need to have, like right now, you have 3,000 in the bank as well. Right now, you need to jump up to like fucking 16 racks, at least. And 2 starports is fine. I would say if you wanted to, you could make like a 3rd one because you're actually making a lot of Vikings to deal with Colossus. And you also need to still make medevacs. So you could make like a 3rd starport and like 10 more racks. You definitely need that because if you take a fight here and lose this army, no, it doesn't matter how much you kill here. If you can't spend your money to remax and he does, you're just dead. With a lot of money in the bank that can't be utilized. So you really need to make some more barracks. And you're not building any.
Mineral field depleted.
You're also making this more complicated than it has to be. You're in Platinum and you're trying to micro Widow Mines and Liberators while also managing Viking, Medevac, Marine, Marauder. You're making this more complicated than it has to be. Straight up numbers would win here over technicality. Like a technical army.
Mineral field depleted.
You don't need to make it so technical. You don't need to like I was saying the Liberator or the Viking would have been fine. Viking is a better option because it's easier. It's literally fucking A move. Like you could micro it, but you don't have to, honestly. But yeah, if you just had more production, you could just remax. Like look at all these SCVs doing nothing. You have 12 SCVs literally doing nothing. That is rough again.
Upgrade complete. Mineral field depleted.
Like your Vikings, see what I mean though? Your army's so technical. Your army's so technical. You had Widow Mines set up. You were moving your bio. You had your Liberators set up to zone in a certain spot. You focused down some cannon, backed off, re-engaged the Stalker. But then the biggest thing you need to worry about here, the one unit you need to deal with is that guy right there. All the fucking Colossi. That's the one thing that's giving you problems right now. And the one unit you have that's designed to deal with it, you didn't even use it. Because your army is so technical that you're not managing everything. That is the only thing that's giving you problems right now. So like the biggest priority in this fight wasn't even utilized. Sure, you killed some gateway units, but he also killed your entire bio ball. So now you have to rebuild bio ball, and now he rebuilds gateway units, but the Colossus are still there, which is going to be annoying again next time you guys fight. And now you try to use the Vikings by themselves when the fight's already over, and all that happens is you shoot one Colossus, you pull its shields off, he blinks at you and kills some of your Vikings, and you fly away. And now you're waiting and waiting and waiting for your slow-ass remax off of 6 barracks.
Base base is under
You're starting to make more. I like that. It's good.
add-on complete.
Want a piece of me, boy?
Add-on complete.
But now look at your, let's take one more look at your economy. 4 SCVs are idle. Okay. But now 10 SCVs out of 4. Really bad. 14 out of 8. Really bad. That's now 6 plus 6. That's 12 SCVs plus 4 that are mining like shit now or nothing at all. So that's 16 SCVs right now doing jack shit. That one's perfect. And this one is, it could be having more. And if all those SCVs that are doing nothing came here, this would be oversaturated as well. So again, you're down an expansion that you really need. I know you were starting one there, but you need to make expansions even faster than that. At this point, you should seriously have like 8 bases or 9 bases. And you're getting stuck on this like, yeah, it's, you're not always on defense because sometimes he's defending, but you're not controlling the map at all because every time you try, he punishes you for it. Like, Liberators are definitely not a bad unit to go for in this situation, but it is more technical, and you don't necessarily need this. I do like that you're expanding again up here. That makes me happy. I do like that you're trying to expand again here. That makes me happy. You should totally be expanding here and here right now as well. And even here. Because again, your minerals are looking like fuck. How many SCVs do you have? You're also down on SCVs. So even with the SCVs you currently have, which is at least 11 below what you would want, ideally, you want to have at least like 80 SCVs, okay? You really do. It's like, if you're going to play a macro game that goes back and forth constantly, you want to have like 80 SCVs. The only time it ever is okay to drop below that is if your orbital command count starts getting into like a double-digit number. If you have like 11 orbitals, but you have like 55 SCVs, that's fine. You have enough mules to make the difference, and you actually can have a bigger army because of that. That's fine. But 69 SCVs is pretty fucking bad. Like, you don't have a lot of mule going, you don't have a lot of mule action. You're gonna run out of money if you take a bad fight. A couple bad fights, you're broke then. Okay, so like right there. Think about this for a second. What do you want to do here? What's the point of this attack? The point of this attack is to kill this. Right? It's to kill that. It's to kill... You're attacking this location right now because this is where a nexus is located, which is giving him money to supply his army. And you accomplish the mission. Mission accomplished while you're at 191 supply. Why on earth now would you dive into this after mission has been completed? It'd be like if let's just say you had a mission to like plant explosives in a building, and you planted explosives all over the building, and it's like, okay guys, mission completed, let's get out of here, let's all get out now, evacuate, the building's gonna blow, mission accomplished. And then someone's like, hey, wait, we need to go back and check the 3rd floor. And then all you guys run back inside. You're like, all right, everyone get back in there. And then it just detonates and everyone fucking dies. Like, the mission's done. You don't need to be here anymore. Fucking pack up, get your, run your bio away, unseat your libs, just back the fuck out. Relocate somewhere else. Take the economic advantage you just gave yourself by wiping out a nexus and go wipe out another one. Go set up another fight on another base. Don't commit into fucking Templar and Colossi with battery cannon when there's nothing of value to kill here anymore. Because you just killed value, and now your value goes right in the fucking trash. And he doesn't even use Storm once. But that fight was really good and then became really bad. All of in the matter of 3 seconds of a bad overextension. You just got to think about your goals. What did you want to do there? Kill the base. You still killed it, but you sacrificed your whole army after you killed it. So you want to really think about that for the future and try to not throw everything away. Because again, I'm going to tell you something right now. If we're going to play a technical game with Liberators and Vikings and Sieges, you need to play technical. You need to actually like utilize your units. You've already missed the point of B2GM, which is max out a move, max out a move, max out a move, max out a move. Again, if this was me against this Protoss player, generally speaking, I would have, I'm not even fucking shitting you, about 13 command centers on 13 different mineral lines right now. And I would have 80 fucking SCVs always being at maximum efficiency. And this Protoss would be on like 2 bases, or he'd already be dead by now. And all I would have done is Marine, Marauder, Medevac, a move. Marine, Marauder, Medevac, a move. Marine, Marauder, Medevac, a move. And why would it work? Because I would always kill the outside expansion with more than he can handle, because it's macro-wise, I'm doing a stronger job. Because I didn't make all the mistakes we've talked about. Because I macroed efficiently. And it's not even like, oh, I'm macroing like a GM. I literally do it in every fucking video in B2GM, in Plat. You just fucking focus on making sure your macro looks good. And then a move stim pack. Forget about it. Go back to macroing. Fix it. Expand again. Make sure your fucking mineral lines look good. Blah, blah, blah. Your army is so technical that your genuine A-move power is not there anymore. You don't have enough power in your army to just fucking stim pack A-move. You have a technical army that requires micro now. So if you require micro, you can't micro like shit. You have to now micro effectively to some degree. You are putting yourself in that position to be technical. I hope that makes sense. You cannot fucking make a technical army and then A-move it. You have to fucking micro a technical army. And you can't make mistakes with it, otherwise you throw the game again. Because if you notice, there is a problem happening in top right now. Your economy is disappearing. And if you take another bad fight, you're going to be broke and you will not be able to stop a counter timing attack and you will die. Your economy is falling apart and your micro decisions are falling apart. Like, look at these bases. 14 fucking out of 4. 18 goddamn idle SCVs. This base looks fine. This base has nothing. This base is started. That's fine. This base is undersaturated. This base has nothing. Your economy, you're literally like wasting 28 SCVs out of 69. That's almost half your fucking SCVs doing jack shit right now. And then you accidentally left those libs siege there and they all fucking died. So now, once again, technical army just gets steamrolled. And now you're gonna die. And look at your bank right now. Look at your supply. Look at Protoss's supply. You're down by 50. And look at your bank. You don't have one. You are dead. So I hope this makes sense. But macro is huge. And there is so much power in just controlling the map as long as you set yourself up to do it faster and more efficiently. That's why, if you guys remember the notepad trick I told you about, use that. This game was so far off what the timers should have been. Super far off. And this is actually something that a lot of Platinum players literally struggle with. They're just like, why is it so fucking hard? You're making the game hard for yourself by macroing poorly and over making everything technical that doesn't need to be so technical. Like, you're making the game harder than it has to be, 100%.
Center upgrade.
Another way, this might be another way to describe this for people too. This might be a way to describe this for people that might make more sense. Every time someone gets on another base, imagine if they have like a power level. like, oh, Terran's one basing me. He's a level 1 or like a power level 1. He's got 2 bases. He's power level 2. He's got 3 bases. He's power level 3. Like, his stats increase every time he expands. Everything gets stronger. His tech, his composition, his upgrades, his size of his army, everything gets stronger. Every time he expands, he gains like a power level every fucking time. And every time you allow Protoss to have another base, you're dealing with an upgraded version of what he could have been every single time. So if you just control the map faster by having better macro, and then you become the Terran who has 7 bases versus Protoss who's on 4, 5, and you're controlling, and now you're on 10 and he's on 3, and you never let him expand again because you're not over technicaling, or you're not making the army super technical. You're just fucking making it simple. Marine, Marauder, Medevac. That's it. And you're stim packing in. Sure, you'll lose some fights to some Storm. You'll lose some fights where like you'll kill a chunk of his army and all of yours will die. But then he'll remake, like he'll be at like 140 supply. You'll be at 200. He'll lose 30 supply, go down to 110. You'll lose 100 and go down to 100. And then you'll remax to 200 again. And now when it takes you to go to 100 to 200, he goes from 110 to 125, 135. And now he's still a little bit lower than he was when you guys fought last time. And you fight again. And now he's at 126 and you're at 200 again. And now he's at 115 and you're at 200 again. And now he's fucking dead. And why does that make sense? Because if the Protoss never is allowed to expand, because you're not making things too technical and you're not waiting forever and trying to set things up really slowly, and you're being efficient with macro, and you just, again, never let him expand, he will run out of money over time. And he's not going to be able to fucking keep up with you when you can just waste an army, max out again. Waste an army, max out again. And I'm telling you that you could do this because you could have definitely gotten a lot fucking faster than you were this game. 100%. This was slow as fuck macro.
Thanks, Vibe. Worth every dollar.
Yeah.
Can't wait to work on these issues. But now I got to watch Jersey Shore with my girlfriend to keep her happy. La Mouse Sag.
What are you talking about? That's a great show. You're going to watch Snooki get into more shenanigans. And then you're going to watch dudes style their hair. Where the way they style their hair is they just slap their hands on the side of the head and go, fuck yeah. And then just puff the chest out and walk around. What? I play Protoss. I don't got time for fucking StarCraft builds when I look this goddamn good. But yeah, I hope this helps Mosdeath. Much love, Zex, Mosdeath. Good luck. Anyone else out there that listen to this, I hope this helps you. Maybe look at the game in a different way. But I'm not even kidding, dude. This is a great fucking example of platinum play because so many people say exactly the same kind of stuff that Zex was saying, where it's like, or like they have the same problems that I'm seeing in this game, where they make everything way more complicated than it has to be because they're missing the concept, which is macro. Because a lot of players in platinum think to themselves, what do you mean I didn't macro? Look at my bases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fucking bases. You think that's not macro? And I would say, yeah, no, that's not fucking macro. This is piss poor is what this is. Definitely could be a lot faster, and for all the reasons we explained. It's really not macro. And if you really like humble yourself, platinum players, and you realize that, holy fuck, you'll get better at this game so much faster. For real. Everyone in plat has this problem. But anyways, much love, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Whatever it is, coaching lesson, replay analysis, I don't know, whatever. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Good luck. And shout out to Zex. Peace out, guys.